Hey guys, it's Dave and it's Joe, and we're here for a very special podcast. This is the first time we're doing this. There's a lot of Nintendo news to talk about. So
yes, there is.
That's what we're going to do right now. And first of all, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel over the past week or two. We've gotten over almost 60 subscribers.
Yep.
And I really want to say thank you very much, and thank you for all your comments. And very encouraging to know that you guys are so interested in Nintendo and joining up with us. So lots of news has happened in the past 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
With Nintendo, there's been like some stuff that's been released about the Nintendo NX, the next system. And what happened was, first of all, just a quick recap, is that the Wall Street Journal, as many of you guys are aware, they posted a story about 2 weeks ago about how the Nintendo NX dev kits had been released to developers, and of course they have the inside information about how the Wall Street Journal has inside information. How when they interview people, they check their sources before they post it. They make sure it's correct. So Takasashi Mochizuki, he posted an article in the Wall Street Journal, and he basically said that the dev kits are out, and he said that, I quote, "The exact shape of the NX hardware isn't clear yet. People familiar with the development plan said Nintendo will likely include both a console and at least one mobile unit that could either be used in conjunction with the console or taken on the road for separate use." And he says, they also said that Nintendo would aim to put industry-leading chips in the NX devices after criticism that the Wii U's capabilities did not match those of competitors. So I posted this information on my website and on YouTube a couple weeks ago, and you guys were very receptive to that. So what do you think about this? What does industry-leading chips mean to you?
There's a couple things that are really interesting, and obviously we're going to go in and out of this subject quite a bit. Basically, industry-leading chips is one section. The thing that we're going to keep touching on is all of the kind of strange backlash that happens immediately when somebody like Nintendo actually releases something that's considered competitive or more competitive into the market.
Exactly.
Which is something that's always really interesting, the overaction or overreaction of its competitors, and kind of the internet trolls and whatever, where everybody gets really excited for no reason. Industry-leading chips means exactly that.
Yeah.
There has been a huge jump in chip technology since 2012, which was basically what the modern generation of consoles has been built on.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
And you can throw the Wii U
2012.
as well in there because it's on 2011, 2012 architecture.
Yeah.
Chips have more than doubled in speed since then. Like we're not seeing a hardware boom like we were seeing like before in PC, where like because the chips have gotten so powerful now, we don't need to. Their software hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah.
So there's no, we're literally sitting on the revolution of processors in our lifetime, if not in the next couple of years, to outprocess the human brain.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
For sure.
The human brain's roughly 10 to the 25th power, and they're working on stuff that's 10 to the 28th, 10 to the 30th, which means it can process that much information, and these are industry-leading chips.
So we're talking about 3 years ago. We're talking about 3 years, 2015, 2012. So you're saying a lot has improved.
Has improved since then. So an industry-leading chip, and we don't have to get into details and model numbers and stuff like that, but there are several products that are coming out from Intel, AMD, and Cavium, which is a manufacturer like Foxconn, and they basically build for the outside the industry. It's like ideas, but they call it models, or they call it selling the model or selling the build or selling the design, and so that's what they do. They do chip design, and they do chip design for most everybody in the industry, including Cavium is one of those companies that makes some of the best routers in the world.
Yeah.
And these leading chip suppliers for AMD, Intel, and Cavium all have stuff out right now that's twice as powerful as what would be anything in the PlayStation 4 or anything in the Xbox One.
At least twice as powerful.
Yeah, I'm being modest.
Yeah, because
I'm not trying to overstate, because obviously I'm not pulling out chip numbers or facts.
No. I mean,
but
if you're talking about pure power, they got things that are 10 times as powerful in PlayStation 4 right now, because you got one graphics card. People were putting multiple graphics cards.
Exactly,
and
so industry leading chips means exactly that. And there are several chipsets coming out by all of the market. AMD, I believe, owns ATI now, by the way.
Yeah, and that is the one that basically is the one that is heavily rumored to be the one that Nintendo is using, AMD. So Nintendo is most likely partnering with AMD to do this. Now, here's the thing that that is fun. It makes it's really amusing to me, because the immediate reaction was like, oh God, industry leading chips. What the hell does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. It can mean they have the best mobile CPU. That's what it means, because it's Nintendo. They like the mobile stuff. That's what it means. That's what I was hearing a lot at first.
Yeah.
However, you look at this quote from I'm quoting this in the Wall Street Journal. It says that this is in response. Industry leading chips is in response to the Wii U's capabilities, not to 3DS capabilities.
Yeah.
So when you say Wii U, what is Wii U? A console, right?
Yeah. No, it's clear that they're making a console, and they're clear that they're making a console, to make the next jump. I mean, Nintendo kind of got a year ahead on them anyway.
Yeah.
The console sold, I would say, moderately well. I mean, the Wii U was, in a lot of ways, an abnormally, or not the Wii U, the Wii.
Yeah.
Was kind of an anomaly of what happened with Nintendo. Most of their consoles, I mean, GameCube, sold 7 million?
No. The GameCube sold like 22 million.
22 million?
Yeah,
it's like full run or something?
Almost the same as the Xbox, the original Xbox. OG Xbox, not Xbox One. Xbox One is the third Xbox.
X-Bone?
Whatever the hell that means.
I love that they call it X-Bone. It's like they make fun of themselves.
So yeah, guys, so when you think about it, NES, Super NES, Nintendo 64, and GameCube all were top-of-the-line tech.
Yeah.
The Wii was a GameCube that was overclocked.
Yeah.
And they had the great idea, which completely changed the gaming landscape of having motion control, and it took off.
They did it well, and they focused on the casual gaming environment that was really doing well like that. They were focusing on the Farmville people.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff was new and interesting, and that really hit the market the way that it needed to. And God, what did they sell? Like 40 million consoles or something ridiculous?
45 in the US, but over 100 million consoles in overall worldwide. And it's the second best selling console of all time in history, besides the PlayStation 2, which sold like 150 million consoles. But that's crazy.
So Wii U sold 11 million so far?
Yeah, and that is a huge drop off from 100 million. We
exactly.
recognize that, but the Wii was so successful, Nintendo they are almost forced to continue with that motto, but they also wanted to adopt the core gamers who were like, well, you don't have HD graphics, so they wanted to make the Wii U a console that could do HD graphics and have competitive looking games.
And they are 100% competitive. Anybody who says that it isn't is not looking at the facts straight.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some texture and shading differences, and there are some flavor differences. But if you put in the PlayStation 4 version of Assassin's Creed, the Pirates one, I can't remember, Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag or whatever, and then compare it to the Wii U, they are almost identical. Yeah, there's like some shading and texture differences.
More rain.
Yeah, and like there's more rain and some like basically like some contrast stuff. Like they have some darker darks and some grayer grays or whatever. But it's just the way PlayStation does graphics, so it looks very PlayStation-y, and the other one looks very Nintendo-y because of the way that they just shade and build their games. But they're dang near identical.
Yeah.
Like it's not that different. And supposedly it's not even nearly as a powerful enough system. The Wii U is barely powerful at all. Oh God, it's so wimpy. But yet it can do, even if it was a tenth, like 90% as good.
Yeah.
That's an industry-leading chipset. That's actually good hardware.
Yeah. Exactly. But the thing is that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are built on the x86 architecture for the CPUs.
Yeah.
The Wii U is based on PowerPC.
Yeah.
Which was the Xbox 360 and roundabout Wayne's PlayStation 3, but not really.
PlayStation 3 was weird.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of thing. But so what happened is that the developers were porting games from the Wii U, or from the Xbox 360 to Wii U, because it was the easiest architecture to learn.
Yep.
It required the least amount of effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Porting from the PlayStation 4 to the Wii U to two completely different architectures is more effort on them.
Exactly.
So they're like, screw it. We're not going to even try. Because they weren't trying anyway, obviously.
Yeah. Well, the whole Ubisoft thing and the Activision thing, and like all those dickheads that just basically openly and publicly bash Nintendo, who actually supported. It's really funny that in the beginnings, when the bottom dropped out of the market and literally Nintendo was the only one left, they picked up people like Ubisoft that existed then and was desperately trying to hang on to anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
And saved their company, only to have them come back and be like, "Screw you guys, you suck." It's like, wow, you guys are dicks.
Yeah, the Wii made Ubisoft millions of dollars. Red Steel, the Rayman, all those Rayman games they kept releasing year after year. They sold a million each all the time. They had Splinter Cell in the system. Every episode.
Well, I can't remember the CEO's name, but it's that dickhead that went on record. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. But
there's a lot of. It's just funny to see all of the. So we get this great news report, from the Wall Street Journal, which we kind of get back on topic now. We get this great news report from the Wall Street Journal, and immediately it's not like, oh great, Nintendo's going to have another system.
No.
Or oh great,
it's the opposite.
Or this is really cool, or let's because if PlayStation 4 was like, oh, we're doing PlayStation 5 next year. People would be shooting fireworks off the roof. Yeah. And oh my god, it's so insane. and that the immediate backlash is oh god, it's going to suck. It's terrible. Nintendo's terrible.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting here going what are you talking about?
And they said, the guys on NeoGAF, which I post on NeoGAF, they said, well, we don't know what that means. Industry-leading chips, we don't know what that means. It could mean mobile, it could mean iPad level. But look at the context. It's about in response to criticism of the Wii U having different architecture, right? Industry-leading chips would mean not only is it equal to PlayStation 4, but it means it's better too. Yes. You know what I mean? The architecture will be better. Industry-leading means that.
What a lot of people don't understand too is that most consoles go through several revisions. In fact, Super Nintendo itself went through 5 revisions just in the old box before they put out the smaller Super Nintendo and then the Famicom crossover Super Nintendo that was then released at the end, and then that went through another couple of versions.
Really interesting. They did that.
A lot of games, including game systems, including GameCube, Xbox, PlayStation 3, went through several rebuilds and re-chippings and retoolings to where that the PlayStation 3 Slim that ended up being put out was technically superior to the original PlayStation. It actually had more power just because of the chips that they put in it, because of the natural growth curve of how hardware works over time. Yeah. So even in a PlayStation 3 own lifetime, the system actually ended up becoming smaller and faster. Yeah. Like everything always does in technology. Yeah. So exactly. Even if they took, let's say, non-industry leading chips. Yeah. No industry leading chips at all. They take crap. Yeah. It's still better than what happened in 2012. Yeah, exactly. It's still better. Because it's still a better chip archecture.
Because of what software can run now on different architecture is better than what it could in 2012.
They'd have to go get a 2012 chip and then run it on the same... And they're not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, in response... So what happened was I was posting on NeoGAF, and I said, guys...
Should we explain what NeoGAF is? Or do you think everybody that's subscribed to us knows?
NeoGAF is the number one. It's the world's largest video game forum. A lot of the guys who post there are in constant denial that Nintendo would ever make a powerful system again, just because the last two, especially the Wii,
they'd even say that all of the Nintendo systems were underpowered and not good. Like literally, seeing that being said on NeoGAF, you're like, you saw GameCube, right? Yeah. You saw Nintendo 64, right? Like, that was...
And it's always like but
that one time. Yeah. Like, you saw Rogue Squadron. Yeah. Right? You saw that game. Yeah. And all the polygons that it pushed, right?
So, in response, I told the guys, I said, okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to go ahead and email this guy. The guy who wrote the post in the Wall Street Journal, Takasashi Mochizuki. We'll call him Moochie for short. That's what he likes to be called anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
So I emailed him. I asked him. I said, so there's some discussion about this industry-leading chips quote that you made. What does that mean? I know what it. I basically know what it means, right? But I'm doing this for layman's terms for people who are still doubt.
Yeah.
Does it mean it's better than PlayStation 4? So, guys, he is not a gamer. He's a journalist.
Yeah, he's a journalist.
So what his job was to ask about the NX, not about PlayStation 4. Okay, so he didn't have an answer about direct comparison about PlayStation 4. Of course, he wouldn't know.
Yeah,
he's a journalist. But
it's not his job to know. It's his job to report news and state accurate facts.
But what he did tell me was, and I quote from his email he sent me, which I posted online, which was exclusive to my website. Thank you all for the 40,000 hits that I got on that day. That was great. But basically he said, and I quote from his email, he said, several people who have seen a demo, it's talking about the NX dev kit, said that what they saw was impossible to run on a computer, not PlayStation 4, a computer, without industry-leading or cutting-edge chips. Cutting edge in what way, they refuse to elaborate. Of course, they're under NDAs, right?
Yeah.
An important thing to remember, probably well already, is that chips specs won't be finalized until much closer to the date of release. So, granted, the dev kit's able to run something that you need a powerful computer to run.
Yeah, let's break it down even further.
They saw a demo too.
They saw a tech demo.
Yeah.
That is directly quoted from the journalist of Wall Street. Mm-hmm. This is sourced, so you guys can totally check this out.
Yeah.
They were coming with actual empirical evidence here.
Yeah.
What this means when you actually break it down is this. They saw an actual playable or at least engine build tech demo, maybe not playable, we don't know, but they saw it running crunching numbers. They saw a development kit that was built by Nintendo that was pumping out serious graphics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Graphics that were serious enough for someone to say, you could not do that on a PC without the top of the line technology.
Yeah, so you need a really good CPU and a really good GPU.
Exactly.
We're not saying SLI or anything, just at least a really solid.
You need something. I mean,
good.
Most games that we're running now that are great on PC, if you have something above like a 780 GTI or GTX card, you're doing pretty good. And now they're at like 980?
Yeah.
So like the 980 is the industry-leading chipset.
Yeah.
And everybody would agree that the 980 is it. So if it has a 980 in it, let's say, and then I can't remember what the top i7 is right now. Like that 8-core blah blah 3.4 gigahertz
Skylink, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the dumb thing is. I know I don't have it.
You don't need it.
I don't. Right? You don't need it.
Yeah.
And that would be again an example of an industry-leading chip.
Yeah.
To crank out the graphics that they're talking about in the tech demo.
Yeah.
You need stuff on that level, which is industry-leading. That's not last year's graphic card. Mm-hmm. That's this year's graphic card.
Yeah, what you guys don't understand is a PC running something that was built from 2012 would have no problem running it. There wouldn't be talk of that. What he would be saying was like they have a demo that they showed. It looked okay, but it was it wasn't that impressive.
Yeah. And the key word is impossible.
Yeah,
it would be impossible to do without industry-leading chips, which means because they're under an NDA and because they probably have contracts with AMD and ATI, they can't talk about what's ATI up to now.
AMD.
No. ATI's new card is like there was like the 7600, and then it was like the 9800.
They're way up there now. They're called the Fury FX.
I actually don't personally run ATI graphics cards because I don't run AMD stuff. So.
I'm an NVIDIA guy, but for consoles,
because we're on Intel,
they're great with consoles.
No, ATI actually makes the best graphic cards. Like if you really benchmark them and look at it, the problem is AMD. Sorry, AMD.
Yeah,
not the best chips. Intel's whipping your ass. Mm-hmm. So like, in fact, Intel and Cavium are whipping AMD's ass. So ATI's great. But it's built on kind of an CPU. And I think a lot of people, obviously now I'm going to get flamed by AMD people. but they're not doing well. And the market's showing that.
Well, yeah, exactly. They have lost a lot of money, which goes into another point that we can talk about, is that they have reportedly made a deal with Nintendo. The deal with the devil. That, they are developing a really good quality, it's called Zen CPU, which is x86. And it's heavily rumored that the NX could use something part of that, which is their CPU. The graphics card theoretically could be based on the latest architecture, which would be the Arctic Islands architecture, which is would be released next year. Everything that AMD's releasing matches with Nintendo's release date of 2016. They're releasing everything in 2016, and also their custom APUs. Basically, the APU is what the PlayStation 4 has. Mm-hmm. AMD made the APU in the PlayStation 4, which has the graphics and the CPU on one chip to make it not overheat, right?
Yeah.
It's a console. So they're doing the same thing for the NX. Okay? So there we have it right there. There's no... You can't skew it any other way. You can't say it's based on an iPad, right?
Yeah. No,
Because
it's clearly console technology. It's clearly equal to a PC type of thing.
Yeah.
Because they're saying you can't do this on a PC unless the chips are top of the line.
Okay.
Or you have something that's been with, let's say, the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. You know, because a brand new game drops, what's the first thing everybody does?
Can it
Go
run?
out and get the new graphics card.
Yeah.
Because you can't run it on the one that you bought last year.
Can it run Crysis? Can it run Crysis 3? Can it run Battlefield 4?
Exactly. It's like the first thing that you ask yourself every time that you're upgrading, and then, you know, eventually you get to a point where we're like, it's good enough. Like, we don't care.
So the question is that what we do from here is the reason why people are kind of like hesitant and to believe this is because what would happen is if Nintendo had the most powerful console and they have this, as I quote, the developers have said it's going to have a mobile unit that goes with the console, okay? Which means that it says that it could be used in conjunction with the console or taken on the road for separate use. So here we got something that's
it's
really
like what they
interesting.
tried to do with the Vita, but it just failed completely.
So it sounds like doing it right. So here's some theories we can throw out there. We have this is a speculation at this point, but what Nintendo, I had some thoughts about this. They could have a console that has a detachable mobile unit on the console that you could take with you and play the games on that as well. Not streaming technology, but I'm thinking it has something
like
on...
maybe VPN. Like they tunnel into the internet, so you're using... Like, very similar to like what Vita did with PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Is that they allowed you to basically VPN tunnel into the PlayStation. The only thing the Vita was doing was being the screen.
Yeah.
The issue with it is that it was buggy as hell, because I tried it.
Yeah.
And the graphics representation wasn't really great, and you get a lot of lag.
Yeah.
Depending on your internet, you get a lot of lag. So, in perfect conditions,
Yeah.
with the internet being great,
Yeah.
and the PlayStation, having the right game, because certain games worked well and certain games didn't, then it was, it was a great idea. Nintendo doesn't ever really release anything. Well, they have. I mean, God, they made the Power Glove.
Or the Virtual Boy.
Or the Virtual Boy. But Nintendo, at least in recent history, doesn't really take those risks.
Yeah.
They don't really, like, when they're going to release a console or release an accessory for that console, that's what the Nintendo seal of quality is all about.
Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to half-ass it. So they're going to make sure that it works well.
So
whatever that format is.
But do you really think Nintendo would force people to have an internet connection to run the mobile unit outside, away from their home? I don't think they would. So this is just a theory. I have no proof about this.
Yeah.
But my theory is that it would be like the console would have the mobile unit inside of it. I'm just saying. I don't know. I have any proof. And what you would do if you want to take the game with you on the road, you would take out the mobile portion of that, and maybe, I don't know what kind of technology they're doing, but maybe that mobile unit is part of the console itself, running it when you're running on your TV for the added power that it needs to run on the TV. You take that part with you as a mobile unit with a screen on it and take it on the go. There is heavily rumored that they could be using game cards along with a disc unit.
No, I heard that.
The game card, this is just speculation, the game card could theoretically be like a PC game, whereas you have a high-spec PC, low-spec PC, they both can run the same disc. Both can run the same game you download, but they just can't. The low-spec PC can't use the higher-end graphics that the game has available to it.
Yeah, but you don't need it on a screen that's smaller that has the resolution that you need.
Exactly.
So you plug in the game and you go.
Yeah, so say you have one game card, like a 3DS game card, but obviously like 64 gigabytes or whatever it is, and you plug it in, you put it into the NX console, you play your game. I'm gonna take it with me. You take that game card out, put it in the mobile unit, plug it in, take it with you, and maybe the console can't work without the mobile unit. I don't know. but this is just speculation. You take it with you. You have the same experience on the road, same graphics, but lessened down.
Yep.
You know, and then you have your experience from home on the go, and when you come home, it syncs it back up. Your save data syncs back up to the console. Plug it back in. You have your standard controller, which has some Nintendo innovations on it. You play it, and wow, you have a great experience.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I definitely think that's. I mean, they're already halfway there.
Yeah,
they're already kind of halfway.
They
there
had that idea with the Wii U.
Like literally, I can take the Wii U pad into my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
My Wii U sits in my living room, and you guys have all seen my living room, so I can take it into my bedroom, which is like several doors away, and like a hallway, and all this walking, and it works fine.
Yeah,
it's like having a mobile unit on your home console. And they've already kind of blended that idea.
Yeah.
So I think it's really logical for Nintendo to go that way. I don't know, in reality, I don't know how effective that will be based on like what I know about computing technology and software programming.
Speculation.
Like that would be a very difficult challenge, I think. And
it would.
Nintendo's perfectly capable of doing it. I don't know.
Well, one of the things that people...
I'd certainly be easier to use the internet one.
Yeah.
that's the easy way to go.
But for mass market consumption, if you force someone to have an internet connection when you're away from home, you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of segregating it there a little bit.
I completely agree. I think that it is segregation. I just think that as the world becomes more and more reliant on the internet, it's... As much as I will love to play my Nintendo in the apocalypse, because it doesn't need the internet to work.
Right.
Unlike PlayStation 4 and, every Xbox ever.
Yeah. DRM to hell.
Yeah. Xbox, like, God, if you didn't have the internet, could you actually play a game on Xbox?
No. I'd be like, this game requires achievements. You must plug in internet. Oh, God.
That's so funny. I thought of that. We should actually do a video on that. We should pull the Xbox from the internet and then see what we can do with some of the games that are completely internet dependent.
But like we said, this is a discussion. It's all on the table here.
Yeah.
We're hypothetically talking. But it's like, if they were able to do that, though.
Yeah.
Because it would theoretically be able to replace the 3DS and the Wii U in one fell swoop. Star Wars reference.
Yeah. The thing that I mean, obviously, Nintendo knows a lot more about business than I do. The thing that I mean, the 3DS is killing it.
Yeah.
It kills it. And the new 3DS is awesome. Mm-hmm. I almost never play it, but I love that system.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't play it. I just don't have the time.
Lots of people like the mobile aspect of Nintendo games, and since they would able to have the mobile unit be able to run the same games as the console, then what you have is basically Nintendo developing games once instead of trying to do it twice.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the rumor is right now, is that they're able to do that. Actually, that's what Iwata said before he passed away. That their plan is to do that. They already merged their companies, both the mobile side and the console side together, to develop games.
And I mean, we all know what the elephant in the room is, which maybe we need to move on to our next talking point, which is what Nintendo's actually doing with their new... Well, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically what I was getting at, is that they're leading more into that space to have a console that can do everything for you, including taking it on the go.
Well, that, and specifically the space that they're moving into is cell phone, that we all know about. Cell phone and mobile gaming as part of Nintendo's platform.
We'll get to that. First, what they just announced a couple days ago was about the Nintendo account. We all know how they got rid of the Club Nintendo. Remember that?
Yes.
So,
which I was sad to see go. I like that.
But this new account membership sounds like it's going to be really cool. So, first of all, they announced Nintendo Account, which is basically like your PSN, Xbox Live.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because the Nintendo Network right now doesn't quite do the same kind of things that they're going to be doing here. So, what they're doing is that the Nintendo Account is going to have cloud-based saves. So, this, again, leads into the mobile aspect of it. Your console, your mobile unit can have the same saves passed over each other. Kind of like it doesn't matter when you're on your cell phone, when you go play Clash of the Clans, and it doesn't matter where you are, you have the same save data online, and it already has it for you automatically. So,
well, the nice thing about Nintendo, about the swap, I'm really looking forward to doing it, because the PlayStation 4 does this currently. And you can load your saved games on the cloud. Nobody talks about how it's kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
Like, the system is clumsy. and getting your saved games, whether you know they're really in the cloud or not, is also like, not to say that everybody has the same experience that I did, and I'm a really computer savvy guy, so I was easily able to figure it out. However, I don't think everybody is necessarily on that level. Like, to where you're going to go into like 6 menus and make sure that it's in your cloud, and then go over to your buddy's house and then sign in with your PlayStation account and then download it from a 6 menu deep.
Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, dude, it's a mess. And I know you don't have a PlayStation 4, so like you haven't experienced that, but like literally trying to take a game over to your buddy's house and then load your save file is like a 5-step process.
Yeah.
Nintendo never has anyone do a 5-step process. They literally, as a company, have said several times, more than 3 steps is more than what we want our user to do.
Yeah.
So like when Nintendo ever makes a product, they literally only want you to like grab game, put in thing, push button, like and then process is done.
Yeah,
they don't like 5 deep steps. They want to make it simple. They want to make it engaging so that you're spending more time playing games and less time running around in menus.
So they partnered with that company called DNA, and they have they're having DNA partner with them to run this background service that they have, and so basically it's going to have cloud-based saving. It's going to have you're going to be able to purchase your games from all your devices, smartphone, PC, your console. And you can access your account from any social media that there is.
This is Dave and Joe happy hour, so I got to do this. There we go.
Nice. So that includes Twitter, Facebook, Google+, anything you got, you can access your Nintendo account on, which is awesome. Yeah. So from your cell phone, you can buy the next Mario game from your cell phone when you're at work. Oh, I can pre-order now? Okay, got it. And what it will do is it will transfer, if it's available to download, it'll download immediately to your system. You don't have to do anything from home.
Nice.
And this is coming in March 2016. And along with that, Nintendo announced the new club membership, which is going to be called My Nintendo, okay? So let me read what I have here about this loyalty program. It says it's a new loyalty rewards program. It rewards playtime of games. Okay, so you're going to get coins that you can use.
Yeah, based on playtime. Very much
based
like the
on
achievement system that Xbox is using right now.
So playtime gets rewarded. Achievements in the game gets rewarded. You unlock something in the game, you get rewarded for it. Okay. With points or /coins, My Nintendo will award players with points for purchases made on both Nintendo platforms and purchases of Nintendo's forthcoming mobile software. In addition, for playing those games, My Nintendo members will earn points. The Japanese publisher said that My Nintendo points can be used to obtain additional digital content like DLC, which will make the game you are playing even more fun. Original merchandise. They like to make toys, amiibos, shirts, everything.
And if you guys haven't, I don't know how many Nintendo people are as hardcore about Nintendo that we are, that we're hanging around. Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
the Nintendo store was great for the Nintendo Club stuff, because it was only stuff that you could get directly from Nintendo, and it was like cool bags. They don't sell this stuff retail. It's like cool bags and jackets, and I got a huge poster that's one side's all Mario Brothers for 30 years, and the other side's the AR cards. That's like this big. So Mario is literally the size of you now. Yeah. And your AR card, if you want, and they do stuff. You can't buy that.
No.
It was totally exclusive Nintendo Club. Spend your points, and we're going to reward you. And they've always done cool stuff like that. So I can't wait to see it all combined.
So there's still going to be physical awards you can get, physical items you can get, and there's also going to be discounts for games too to buy as well. The points can be applied to both Nintendo's mobile and console games. They also have announced that they're partnering with Universal Studios for theme parks. You can get discounts on that from My Nintendo. So playing games is going to get you rewards in the real life, which is amazing. I think that's totally awesome. And they're finally putting that all together into one. And you can access all of this through any kind of social media you have. Now, so then we move on to their first mobile app, which is going to be called Miitomo. Okay? The Miitomo is the first smartphone app that they're releasing in March 2016. Same with March 2016 is everything that they're releasing everything at the same time to be compatible with each other. So it's a free to start communication application that helps friends share fun personal facts and interests. Okay? Consumers create and use their own Me characters to engage friends in a welcoming social environment. answering questions and sharing information to discover more about each other and what they have in common. Miitomo was designed to appeal to a wide range of global smart device users and introduce them to uniquely Nintendo experiences, beginning with Miitomo and carry through future applications. So basically, Nintendo was trying to find a way to get the Miis onto your smartphone. So basically, if you have Miitomo the app, and someone else has the app, you're gonna be able to see what games they have, what things, what achievements they got,
and also everything has near field communication now.
Yeah,
so it's just like the 3DSs where you're collecting points and walking past people. The Street Pass. Obviously, we don't know this. I'm just assuming based on how technology works.
Yeah.
But the Street Pass is going to be part of that. And my phone does near field.
Yeah.
On a whole bunch of other cool stuff. And if I can literally send my business card out, if I'm at a convention, to anybody else who has the same near field turned on, and it'll just automatically trade all of the contact information.
Yeah.
And people do that at conventions all the time. That I think Nintendo's just going to capture right on this existing technology and put all of the Street Pass stuff and all the cool little Mii games just right there on your smartphone.
Yeah, so they had that great idea with the 3DS, the Street Pass. But what they were doing now is expanding that to smartphones. So everybody has a smartphone now, right? So when you get that app on your smartphone, and you go in somewhere in the public, and you're going somewhere in the public all the time, you're going to see someone that has the same thing that you got. And eventually, what they were saying they're encouraging is that you share some things about yourself. Your Mii will say something about you, like, "Oh, I like to wake up and have eggs and bacon in the morning," and someone else says, "Oh, I like to have potatoes and pancakes." And you're like,
I'd hate to see what mine would say.
But you know what I mean? Like, people, they said that people are very much private and afraid to share anything about themselves with a stranger. But if you're on a bus every day, seeing the same person on there on your phone, you're not actually talking to them. And you're like, wait a second. And after a while, you actually feel like you know that person. It actually encourages interaction in the real life. And that can transfer into
and this is such a Japanese thing. It's understanding, the understanding that I have of Japanese culture, although limited. I know quite a bit and been there and done stuff. They're a very socially repressed culture. They'll ride the bus their entire life and never know that they're best friends sitting together or whatever. That doesn't happen. It's not. So businesses are always trying to find ways to encourage that kind of stuff. And Japan's always. It's going to be interesting to see it carry over to America, where we are more social. Well, and it might just explode.
And you're interacting with people without even really having to interact. And all of a sudden, you realize, you're able to make friends, online friends that way, maybe. And that, as we were saying, it's free to start. You can get costumes, and they may have something like maybe some of the Animal Crossing. Maybe you have a little room you can decorate inside there. Whatever. But what's funny is that Iwata, the president of Nintendo before he passed, he basically announced this application back in February 2015. He said that he would like to create an app for smartphones that would have Miis that can interact. And here we are. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be their first app. It's the first of 5 apps or first of 5 games, apps, whatever. But the next games that they're going to have, they said they're going to be more like a game aspect to it.
Yeah, they've been trying to do some games. Well, they've already announced and given rumors to that they're going to bring Super Mario Brothers, or the original Super Mario Brothers 2, Android and all the app stuff and all that. I saw promos online for it.
But it's not going to be. It's not going to be. They're not going to. They already said they're not going to port any of their original games to the phones. They're not going to do that. It's going to remain in virtual console type on their console stuff. They said they're going to only create original software for phones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just the internet rumor mill. You just see that
people would love for them to, so they could just buy on their phone. But Nintendo is in it. They want to make it on their dedicated hardware. They want to draw people into their dedicated hardware through using apps on the phones and games specifically made for phones. They got Pokemon Shuffle on phones now, which is made by the Pokemon company, but. And they announced Pokemon Go for phones as well. I guess it's going to use somehow your geography, where you're at. You can find new Pokemon.
I heard about that. It's like a geocaching mixed with Pokemon kind of thing, so you can battle them in like augmented reality.
Yeah.
With your phone?
Yeah.
It looked really cool, stuff that I read about it.
And of course we have the heavily rumored Legend of Zelda Netflix TV show that they're developing. Also heavily rumored Super Mario animated movie that they're could be developing with Disney. So there's... And
the Nintendo's so funny, they literally will say like, oh yeah, we're totally doing that. And then somebody's like, you're totally doing that? So exciting. No, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
And you're like... Well, you're trying to keep this a secret, or are you really not doing it? And then it goes back and forth until you either get it or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you find out like 10 years later that, they totally like halfway developed it and then shelved it for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they operate. That's how they always done it. So those things are rumored, and they've already said that openly that they are going to be heavily invested in more IP usage. So more Mario, more Link, more Donkey Kong, more Samus.
Well, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
So when you think about the Wii U, think about what games are not on the system that could be there. There's no F-Zero.
There's no Zelda.
There's no Zelda yet. there's no Metroid Prime, right?
Yeah.
No Metroid.
No Metroid.
There's no Kid Icarus.
They never.
There's no Animal Crossing.
Up developing a Kid Icarus game ever. He just ended up in Smash, and then they just keep shelving it.
Yeah. Well, they did for 3DS, but that was...
Oh, yeah, that was okay.
Yeah. There's no Animal Crossing game on the Wii U. They have a little side thing they're doing with, like, amiibos, but that's not really a game. It's like a board game. Amiibo party something.
Yeah, in fact, Nintendo's IP for IP is really just focused pretty much on Mario.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Mario Kart and Mario Party and all the Mario, and they're all great. And Yoshi, obviously, Whirly World, I just got it.
Yeah.
Amazingly good game.
Yeah.
And hopefully maybe we'll get some gameplay on that today, or at least you got to check it out. Yeah, later.
But yeah, and there's no Fire Emblem on the Wii U.
Which I wish.
Huge seller on 3DS.
And it's good too.
So there's
Fire Emblem.
There's no Wave Race. There's no Pilot Wings on the Wii U either.
Yeah.
There's no 1080 snowboarding.
There's also not really any Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resorts. Not really. They did the weird, like...
Buy one sport.
Same
games.
Yeah. But it's basically the same game.
Yeah.
The golf, they added in a whole new course for the Wii U, which I did enjoy, because I bought the golf one. But baseball was the same as it was, and so there was no real Wii Sports Resorts for Wii U.
Yeah.
There was also no Wii U Fit.
Yeah.
Which I think was a huge misstep.
No, there's Wii U Fit. Yeah, there is. But yeah. But anyway, and Star Fox was delayed. They still don't have that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they have all these IPs that are not on the Wii U. So it's kind of interesting. They may have seen something like this happening early on in the Wii U's lifespan. Is that we're like, you know what? Let's get these exclusives going on the Wii U that we can have. Bayonetta 2, Mario Kart 8, Smash Brothers. Xenoblade Chronicles X, which looks amazing, which is coming out in
we gotta get it.
December. I'm getting it.
Gotta get it.
They own the Fatal Frame license now, which that game's out now. It's digital only in the US though, unfortunately. But that's supposed to be like really scary, like the scariest game ever.
Interesting, really.
Yeah, Fatal Frame, the newest one, Fatal Frame 5 or whatever it's called. But so they have lots of exclusives on the system, but a lot of IPs that are left out there that they could be using. So Miyamoto said in their investors meeting they're going to be heavily invested in using much more of their IP with the NX.
Well, God, when was the last time I saw a Donkey Kong game?
2013.
Oh yeah,
Donkey Country Tropical Freeze.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, that was a great game, but that's a platformer for that one. They could be.
Well, what I was thinking of was Donkey Kong, the 3D one that was on Nintendo. I like Banjo-Kazooie, even though that's not Nintendo, but that kind of thing has not really been done.
Well, what people forget, too, is that they own Diddy Kong Racing, too. They didn't have that, any sequel to that. They could totally do a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, too.
That was a great game.
Yeah, they have so much they could do. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Now, granted, releasing the NX in 2016 would be 1 year short of the 5-year normal lifespan of the console. But the Wii U still has, I'm not sure if guys know this, but there's already games that are scheduled to release in 2017 for the Wii U that have already been in development.
There's no reason to get rid of your Wii U just because they're making a new console.
No.
And most likely, although it is totally it's gonna be backwards compatible. They haven't said anything, but it's gotta be.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Like unless they're just boneheaded. So I mean, it's like buy the console and you're not gonna get like, and you can have it and you can still have all the Wii U stuff, and then they're just building in titles for the system that's already coming out because it's cross compatible.
The heavily rumored mobile unit most likely can act similar to the Wii U. Probably as backwards compatible, no problem. Maybe you play it on the go too. Who knows?
Yeah,
we don't know, but. Backwards compatibility is huge with Nintendo. They like doing that, and
then they've done it on every single system since the Wii. Wii was GameCube, and then Wii U went to Wii.
Well,
and then
Game Boy Advance could play Game Boy games.
And Game Boy Advance could play. Well, their handhelds have always been. I mean, there's a reason they run the handheld market.
Yeah,
everybody's tried to jump into the handheld market once or twice. Well, I guess Microsoft technically hasn't, but
oh God.
They'd ruin it. They just totally missed the mark.
Sony has gone on record to say just recently they have no plans to make any successor to the Vita. Vita is complete failure.
Yeah. Well, every time they come out, I mean, obviously Game Gear with Sega, which was
for a little bit,
a complete failure. And Vita, admitted by the own company, gigantic flaming pile of fail.
Yeah. It has good technology in it.
Honestly, I love the Vita. I have one. I never play it.
No one wants to buy it. It was too expensive. They didn't.
It's too expensive soon enough. You know what? It didn't have the development because they were so busy dealing with PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. They just really didn't dedicate a lot of time to put out really good games for the Vita. There's one here and one there. You go to like the 3DS catalog.
Has
you
like
could throw
games.
A rock into a pile in a used video game store and hit 10 good games.
Yeah.
like you gotta search for the good ones on Vita.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to know ahead of time what you're getting into.
Basically you have to love RPGs.
Yeah. Japanese
RPGs.
Japanese scantily clad, anime 13-year-old hentai crap is what they were specialized in. If you like that,
it's for you.
God bless. It's not for me, though.
I like my women drawn.
Yeah. Yeah, they're heavily Vita's heavily in the hentai market. There's some of that on the 3DS too, but more so on Vita. Big time hentai RPG.
That's hentai RPG.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists. But it's funny.
So getting back to the NX now, we've kind of gone over this stuff. The PlayStation 4 came out when? 2013, right?
2013, yeah.
Same time as Xbox One, right?
Correct. Wii was 2012?
Wii U was 2012, yeah. PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. It was top of the line at the time for the consoles. But for the technology in the console, was not top of the line tech.
Well, yeah, because they were trying to save money to make the price point compatible with the Wii because they didn't want to come out with a $900 system again.
Yeah. So the thing was that the Wii U actually did Nintendo a favor by, keeping it down to a level where the competition said, we can just make it right here.
They lowered the market's ability of hardware because all they really had to do is just be slightly better.
Yeah.
Than Xbox or Wii or however they want to market, and it's all the same flavor of tea.
Yeah,
like it really is. There's really almost no difference other than controller and interface between these consoles, like within a margin of 10%.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation 4 does have games that run at 1080p more often than the Wii U does, and they do have games with better lighting, shadows, things like that. But as far as it being a quantum leap better, not even close. It's not a quantum leap better at all.
Yeah, it all comes down to something that's really, really important, which is where we're kind of wrapping up to, is development and third-party development.
Yes. So that's what I was going to get to next. Was that if they released the NX in 2016, that's only 3 years. That's right in the middle of PlayStation 4's. Xbox's lifespan.
Oh, and they're not ready to retool yet. They're freaking out right now.
They're just starting.
Both Xbox, and then that's why we got such a huge backlash.
Yeah.
They literally went, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Oh crap! So start the smear campaign now.
PlayStation 4's big exclusive, their first big exclusive for the PlayStation 4 that really is big, is Uncharted 4, which comes out in 2016.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 years after the system was released. Killzone, whatever it's called, didn't sell well.
They really haven't
didn't sell well.
They really haven't had a system seller.
Yeah.
You know what sold PlayStation 4s?
Was the Last of Us?
The re-release of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, yeah.
That's what sold them. When that game launched, you can literally see the sales of PlayStation 4 jump. And it's a great game. And the polish that they put on it is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a remade, reported, retextured PlayStation 3 game. It's not even really a new release.
Yeah.
It's certainly not an exclusive.
They got away with a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, so there's no system seller. The system seller that sold the system, like the exclusive system seller that every system's supposed to have, was Grand Theft Auto 5, and it wasn't even an exclusive game.
It's on PC and Xbox, yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's retarded.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's really weird how that works, because people, actually, the PS4 has sold really well throughout the entire time it was released, on the promise of greatness awaits, right? That's their model. I mean,
we're still awaiting.
We have the most powerful system. They do have the most powerful system right now, console-wise. Not compared to PC. It's garbage.
Yeah, PC just destroys it.
But they have the most powerful system, right? So they have marketed that way, saying that is the best you could buy right now. So everyone's like, okay, let's buy that. Okay, so Nintendo comes out with the NX in 2016. They not only match PS4, but they completely surpass it by using the industry-leading chips in it.
Yep.
What does that do to PlayStation 4? It basically, the third-party support will make it so they can port any game to the NX no problem. It'll probably cost them next to nothing to do it.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do. Is Nintendo's had a rocky road with third-party developers and third-party development, and when you look at something like PlayStation specifically, it has the lowest amount of first-party independently developed games, even less than Xbone, or the Xbox team.
Yeah, it does.
It has almost no exclusive developed by Sony. They're completely third party at this point.
Yep.
At least by a large margin of their games.
Yeah,
and we're talking not 70%.
Yeah.
Not 80%, but 90% of the games.
There's no God of War yet on it. There's no Uncharted 4 yet. It's coming, but it's not yet.
I would dare someone to all right, think of a title that's exclusive to PlayStation that's not third party. That's made by Sony Entertainment.
They'll say Killzone, Shadowfall.
Yeah.
But that was a launch game. No one bought it.
2 games?
Yeah.
And then if you go
Little Big Planet. Yeah.
But Little Big Planet, I don't think is a Sony an actual. It's a third part, like how Nintendo does.
Oh, it's exclusive, like Bayonetta 2.
It's exclusive, Bayonetta 2. It's not the same developer. Also, that game's terrible.
Oh, okay.
Little Big Planet 3, I was super looking forward to. It was a flaming pile of fail. Little Big Planet 2. All they had to do is remake that game.
Yeah.
They literally just needed to remake that game for PlayStation 4. Then they put in a whole bunch of crap that they didn't need, like flying creatures and all this other stuff. And the game didn't sell well because they lost the magic. And I did not enjoy that game at all. And I love Little Big. I still own Little Big.
The second
2.
one?
Yeah, I still own 2. I traded in 3, within 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
It was crap.
Well, see, there you go. Exclusives. Can you imagine having a Nintendo console that has all the third-party support because it's, oh god, they made it so easy. Let's just port it all. Obviously, they're gonna support PlayStation because that's where all the
that's where bread and butter is. And that's where all the magic happens or whatever. That's where the market is.
However, you put those easy to port games on the NX, which will have better frame rates, higher resolutions, and those Nintendo innovations, plus all the Nintendo exclusives and portability of that console on the go, dude, you kill it. That's like, in my opinion, that's an amazing console you can't pass up.
And I don't know if it's that Nintendo fans or people that appreciate Nintendo more than... And I don't want to say the word fanboy because... How can I be a fanboy for both PlayStation 4 and Nintendo? Because I love playing PlayStation. I love Sony.
Okay.
They're not doing a good job. But... the Grand Theft Auto 5 and the PlayStation 4 is amazing. The Metal Gear Solid 5 that I was just playing today, amazingly good game.
Yeah.
Great polish, and it sucks that Konami's pulling the sales on all that stuff.
They're not made by Sony.
Yeah,
right.
But obviously, we're not talking exclusive titles, but the reason why I'm saying this whole argument is literally at this point in development of consoles, it's not like Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis where there's like actual differences between the consoles.
Yeah.
Like we really want to. We're now arguing about subtext of different flavors of ice cream.
Yeah.
Like I like chocolate, but dude, it's all ice cream. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like it's literally all ice cream. If you want to have exclusive titles, if you want to have a Nintendo experience, like where games are coming from a developer that are directly to you, for the kind of thing that you like, it is the best system and only choice anybody would ever make.
Yeah, yeah. So, but what Nintendo wants, though, is to have that option for third parties to be able to easily port their games to their system.
So they can get access to that market.
So that's the reason why they want to make the system a lot more powerful, is for the ease of access. So their excuse with the Wii was that the interface, everyone's going to go for the interface, right?
Yeah.
But that's really the only system they really did that with, because with GameCube, they knew the system had to be on par with Xbox. And it was way more powerful than PS2. You know what I mean? Nintendo 64, they quantum leaped PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
So,
bad.
Yeah.
Like smacked it in its face and threw it down the stairs.
Yeah. Their problem with that system, of course, was cartridge development was really expensive. Now, if they go to game card stuff like that, whatever, have the option to, it's a lot cheaper now. It's a non-issue now. But,
I think that a lot of it's going to be digital cloud-based anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
exactly.
I mean, I don't even. I like the idea of physical media.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to play the game, like off my generator when the power runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or play my game 20 years from now, because what if the entire internet architecture is going to change actually very soon. Mm-hmm. So you go plug in your original Xbox, it may not actually be able to work on the internet
because of different code or whatever.
Well,
coding,
it's all going to IP6 and it's not IP6 compatible. That's a whole other conversation we're not going to get into.
Yeah.
But like when you make something that's cloud dependent, you are not building in longevity.
Yeah.
Because the cloud is going to change. And the internet's going to change, and the way people use the cloud and the internet is going to change.
Yeah.
It's always in flux. And we've seen the internet completely change in our lifetime more than once. It went from a thing to like surf the web on and check your emails to people living their lives on it. Mm-hmm. And experiencing all these things, together, and it continues to change, and it continues to be a part of culture more than a technology. And so I totally love hard games. I want more games to be made non in the cloud. But there is no reason for anyone to print any game at this point at all.
Yeah,
so it doesn't need to be cartridge. Like you don't need to do
everything you want digitally if you want to.
Yeah, you don't have to have a game disc. I like it because I'm old school, and I like the idea that I can always play it because I have the game no matter what. As long as the system works and the game works, I can put it in. It doesn't matter where I am. Mm-hmm. But cloud technology, provided things continue going the way they are and the internet doesn't change that much, no reason to have a disc.
Yeah.
No reason to have a CD-ROM drive on your DVD Blu-ray drive on it.
Besides for being able to just do it.
Well,
have the option.
I'd have the option to do it.
Yeah.
And there's no reason. We have Netflix now.
Yeah.
If you could just get any movie whenever you wanted,
it's a lot easier than going to get them and putting a disc.
Yeah. You just do it. It's just the movie corporations don't allow you to do it that way because they want you to just buy their DVD, or their Blu-ray disc.
So getting back to the competition aspect, that Nintendo went for a new aspect with the Wii, right? They went for it for everybody, the grandmas, everybody. That was before smartphones took over, right?
Right.
So now Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, said himself that Nintendo, they're more than happy now to say, forget about those casual gamers that care less about what you're doing now, because they're all have moved to smartphone devices.
Yeah,
which goes back
to other stuff.
Which goes back to the point of them being competitive in the gamer market, in the gamer aspect of the console. For their consoles, they have to be competitive. They see that now very clearly, which whoever does.
Oh yeah, and then they're using the smartphone to get those people back in.
Exactly.
It's genius.
Yeah, so they have all these avenues of revenue to fuel them making a powerful console now, because making a powerful console now is very expensive. Those chips are expensive. Hey, it costs money. Not it costs more now
development
than back then.
Development of a system, like just the process of going through it, building a custom PCB board, like getting all of that, like okay, just making a chip design
and then testing it,
and then okay, so I have a design, I've built this whole architecture, all right, and you do it all in like AutoCAD. They don't actually use AutoCAD; they use a specific program, but you build your chipset and you build the whole thing on the board, and it's totally 3D rendered, and you can see what it's going to do, and you can even software test it software wise,
right?
Like how it's supposed to work.
I got you.
You know, you still got to build it.
Yeah.
And building one of those is going to be the most expensive possible not working thing that you're going to pay for. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost, and it's not like okay, $1,000 and I can.
No,
dude, it's
millions.
like tens of thousands of dollars just to get one working product, and then you're going to make another one immediately after it.
Yeah.
So if you make like 10 or 15 little different design changes, and then you want to actually bring it to a physical model and then run it on the hardware to make a development kit, you've already spent 100, 200 grand in hardware just getting it to that point. Yeah. So it's incredibly expensive.
Exactly.
And chip design itself is an incredibly R&D intensive. So it doesn't cost. It costs millions. It's not hundreds of thousands, millions. To get a game console just out. Yeah, exactly. And one of the greatest things about it, though, is that because we're talking about competition, Xbox and PlayStation, please go look this up, internet base. Please go look at their stock portfolios. They're a publicly traded company, and they have to report their losses, and they have to report how they're losing money, and they have to report why they're losing money.
Oh, yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation have never made $1. They have never been profitable, and they have never had... Well, never is a strong word, because there's parts where they
have
do
peaks
well.
and valleys.
They have peaks and valleys. But they've actually never made $1. I don't know if they make money on the PlayStation 4. I haven't looked at that. They did not make any money on the PlayStation 3 until version 3. Until Slim. Everything else. And they lost so much money when they had to reduce the price because the system was so expensive. They lost so much money, they never recouped it.
They may be making a profit on PlayStation 4 now because of the technology being older now. Yeah. And it's cost them a lot less to make it, and people are still buying it.
Also, Xbox literally tried to sell itself to, of all people, Nintendo.
Yeah. And,
yeah, Nintendo was like, we don't want your herpes. Yeah. But both of them as a business have completely actually not sustainable. The reason Sony works is because it's a multinational that does entertainment and makes TVs and does bonus, and Microsoft, obviously, Windows.
Yeah. So my projection, my theory, is just speculation that Nintendo's going to undercut the competition. Yep. So they
have to.
Yeah. They're using their IP though. Like I said, theme parks. They got the amiibos. They just said they have sold over 21 million amiibos in 10 months. 21 million amiibos. So that's about a $200 million profit right there in money.
Easily.
Yeah. So because they cost like $13 each, but obviously they don't make all that $13. Some of it goes to retail, developing the figure. But they're truly cheaply made. They're honestly cheaply made toys. But they sold 21 million amiibos in 10 months. This is from their investors meeting. That is amazing. So
and the toys are cheap.
Yeah.
Let's say it costs $1 for them to make, and then they sell it to the retailer at like a B mark, which means take 60% off. Basically, the retailer's going to give them 60%, and they're going to make the 40% that's left of the $13.
Yeah.
That's generally where the model is. Let's say it's an A mark, which is 50-50.
Yeah.
So Nintendo is making $6 for every amiibo. Worst case scenario, Nintendo's making $6, and that's being really loose, because I don't think it takes them $1 to make it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually on an A mark.
Yeah.
Which means, literally, if they were making 50%, that's 6 times 21 million in profit.
Yeah, yeah. So that's whatever that is, like $200 million, just to say.
Yeah, easy.
So that's money right there, bam, that they got. Like that.
That in 8 months.
That they weren't 10 months. That they were not they were not making before they released those figures. Yep. Smart business decision. You see what I'm saying? So undercutting the competition in 2016 with top of the line chips in that console, there is absolutely no reason why any core gamer would not want to buy that system. Well, no reason unless it's way too expensive.
What pride or way too expensive? But Nintendo doesn't release. Nintendo's never. Okay, to my knowledge, the most expensive console Nintendo's ever released was the Wii U.
Yeah.
Everything that has ever been has been damn near $200.
Yeah.
And now, say they make a $300 one,
I'd buy
or
it.
a $350 one. That just puts them right where Xbox and PlayStation launched at.
Yeah.
It just puts them right in the realm.
Xbox was $500 because it had the stupid Kinect in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Now it's $299 because they took everything away and like they're giving it away now.
Well, they have to give it away.
No one because it's not buying. And then PS4 they lowered the price just like a few weeks ago to $350. So,
well, I mean, I can't really bag on Xbox failing because they actually think they have more sales than the Wii U at this point.
Just a little bit,
but not nearly as successful as Xbox 360.
No, not at all. So there's a huge market out there. Xbox 360 sold 80 million consoles. PlayStation 3 sold over 80 million. The Wii sold over 100 million consoles, okay? So you take all those people out there that haven't bought a PS4. PS4 is like 28 million right now. Xbox is about 13, 14 million. The Wii U is 11 million, okay? So you got about 80 million people out there that haven't bought anything yet, that are waiting to see.
Well, I wonder...
It's a huge market.
I wonder if it's...
They're still playing their 360.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, not only do I wonder that they're all still playing their 360, but maybe we just hit a really good boom and bust. A lot of kids, a lot of families at that time, a lot of stuff going on that allowed an aggregate of like 400 million consoles to be sold.
Yeah.
You know, like from every single... So because we put them all together right now, Wii U, Xbox 360, and PlayStation, they haven't even broken 50 million.
No.
Together.
Not at all.
Which isn't even close to what Nintendo did half in the 5-year span of... So, like, this whole generation is underselling.
Yeah.
This whole console, and I mean, really brings us, at least to the point that I'd want to make, is that we need a revolution, and we need to get back at these developers that are destroying what video games used to be. And they're... Like, we're on the edge of a golden age again of like making
DLC
the most
up your ass.
Hardware and software again are at that beautiful precipice where you can make some really beautiful games. Just like in that 99 2000 switch for PC.
Yeah.
Where like Unreal Tournament and the Unreal Engine and Crysis and like stuff started popping out
into Half-Life and
Half-Life and all that stuff and like it started popping out to where you started getting these really amazing experiences to where the art in the games, you know, and then we plateaued for a while.
Yeah.
They're like, how better can graphics really be?
Yeah. Like,
it doesn't matter. Eventually people are just like, I don't care because it looks good enough.
Yeah, there's games from 2008 on PS3 that still look good today.
Exactly.
They look a little better now. I mean, but not
they watch
much.
our channel. They saw Rogue Squadron. Yeah. That game still looks great.
2001.
2001.
Uh-huh.
That thing's an old game.
Yeah.
It's older than 10 years old, and the software is still pretty decent looking.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much farther do you need to push gaming in a graphics level?
It becomes architecture to us.
Yeah, before it doesn't even matter. Like before it's just like, it looks great. Nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's perfect.
Yeah.
And every game from now on basically has the potential. So it comes down to actual development.
Yeah.
It comes down to the developers to give a shit, the architecture to actually give a shit to do it right.
Yeah.
So that you make a good game. Because I would argue with any of the frickin' PlayStation fanboys that Fallout, you know, is the best game that's, you know, on the PlayStation 4.
Wasn't that a PC game first anyway?
Or something. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, Fallout 4.
It's crap. You know, or whatever their thing is that, like, I'd put it right next to Woolly World. Or I'd put it right next to, like, do you not get, like, how well this game is built? Mm-hmm. You know, there's not they didn't need to patch it. You know, they're like, it just works, and you can play it and plug it in, and it's fun. Like, how great! Like, obviously, they did some patching and balancing in Mario Kart. They did.
Yeah, but it was very minute.
But very minute. But at the same time, it's like the game still ran for 6 months.
Yeah.
Before they even updated or patched anything.
Yeah, it was more about fan feedback, saying, "Hey, I would like to be able to select this first before this."
Exactly.
You know,
and it was stuff like that, and it's like you look at the polish and care that Nintendo puts in their product because. That is the thing. Even though they're expanding their IP and they're putting in a new business model and they're moving into a new generation and they're trying to bring them with them, Nintendo only does one thing. Mm-hmm. They make games.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's all that they've done since their existence 100 years ago.
Yeah.
They were a toy and game company then.
Card games.
And they're a toy and game company now. Mm-hmm. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
They don't make TVs.
No.
They don't make software.
Right.
That is operating system based. They are not like any other competitors. They live and die by the game, which is why if you care about development and you care about a game being good, polished, made well, perfect 10 level gaming stuff, You know, in the 9s and 10s. Metal Gear Solid, damn near 10. Mm-hmm. There's some issues, a lot of pop in. There's some stuff that I'm like, not a 10.
Yeah.
But it's damn near 9.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of Red Dead Redemption, which I personally, on my scale, would give a 10. Even though that game was buggy as hell. But that game was just so much fun.
It played well.
And it played well, 10. Mm-hmm. You know, and so we're talking about like perfect 10 games and exclusive games. All that. You look at the list, Nintendo wins.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
You look at the exclusive release list,
yep,
it wins every time. So anybody that's out there bad-mouthing Nintendo or blah, 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 NX or inferior chips or hardware, I think that this is their middle finger to you.
Yeah.
This is Nintendo saying, we've done this for a long time.
We know how to make a console.
The only reason that Xbox and PlayStation exist is actually because of us.
Yeah.
Go eat a giant bag of poo.
Yeah, and if they want to make a super powered console, hey, I'm all for it because they can. They have no debt. They have 2 stocks, one in Japan, one in the United States. Both are worth $21 billion in market cap.
Yep.
Their assets are over $15 billion. I've researched this, by the way. You can look it up online on Forbes.
Yeah. They're the most successful video game company in the world.
Yeah.
They actually profit. Their stock is great. Like, they're the exact opposite of PlayStation's and Microsoft's video game department.
In Nintendo's checking account in their bank, they have $5 billion of cash just in their bank, sitting there.
Nintendo is the equivalent of... See, Apple makes cell phones and computers and hardware, right? Mm-hmm. Nintendo is the video game equivalent of Apple. Mm-hmm. They do what they do better than anyone else. There's not a better Apple out there. If you like Apple, you need to have Apple. Because they do it the best.
It's not just about making games for them; it's about running a business too to make those
games.
Because they have so much money to think that they can't afford to make a powerful console.
Yeah,
Get the hell out of here.
Totally lose money. They could totally lose money next year.
Yeah,
on the console that they develop, whatever, and
make it back on Amiibos.
Make it back on
Amiibo, whatever else.
Or just lose it.
Yeah.
And okay, we don't have $5 billion in the bank anymore. Oh,
or we. Well, yeah, I mean, but they wouldn't do that though.
But what's his name? Because they did lose money on something. They didn't, like, their stock fell and they lost like 10%. Like, Nintendo went through like a little dip. Like 2 years ago?
Well, yeah, because they lost some money because of the R&D on the Wii U they had. The gamepad development was so advanced for the streaming technology. The instantaneous streaming was so advanced. It cost them a lot of money just on developing the Wii U, and they lost some profit on that. And the 3DS got off to a slow start because they released that at $250. That was a bad move on that.
But instead of secretly going to another competitor or secretly doing a thing or trying to make a backroom deal like other companies that have lost money,
they figured it out.
Not only did they figure it out, they immediately announced it.
Yeah.
The CEO apologized. Mm-hmm. Like, literally was like, "I am sorry that I lost you this money.
Yeah.
Please reprimand me. I won't be the CEO anymore if you don't." You don't. And then stepped down.
He pay cutted himself.
And pay cut it. That's what it was. He didn't step down. He pay cut himself.
Yeah.
That's a company that cares about their product.
Yeah.
That's a company that cares about being a company.
Yeah.
You don't see the CEO of Microsoft's video game department cut his salary when his system sells badly. Because his salary should be cut based on the numbers that I saw in Forbes.
Yeah, he'll just say, "Okay, I'm going to find another job." That's all he'll do. But that's the thing. Anyone out there who thinks Nintendo can't be good with the tech race is stupid because they have billions of dollars.
And just stop it. Just shut up.
Yeah.
The argument is so won.
Yeah.
It's so one-sidedly won. It's just ignorance and bigotry at this point. And like the thing that you want to like. If you love PlayStation 4 so much, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to your life, and I understand people need to make economic choices. You can only afford one system, and oh my god, I just love Sony.
Yeah.
I don't live in a world where I have to choose one. I have them all.
Yeah.
And I have the handhelds, and I have all the games that I want, and David does too.
Yeah.
He chooses Nintendo. Mm-hmm. He chooses to invest his time and energy and money there because it's a better product for him.
If I really want to play a third-party game, I play it on my PC. That's 6 times more powerful than PS4.
Yeah.
Hey.
And so it comes down to interface. It comes down to choice. Mm-hmm. And it's like, look, don't give on people for the choices that they make.
No.
I'm not saying that everybody... I own a PlayStation 4. I'm not saying everybody owns a PlayStation. Oh, you're a dickhead. You're a dickbag, crappy system.
No.
It's a great system.
For what it is, it's good.
For what it is, for what it does for me, it's great. And I spend time playing it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah. Great.
Let's give the same credit to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Who honestly has done it better for years.
Yeah.
Has the actual data to prove that they've done it better. This isn't me going, oh, Nintendo is awesome, I'm a fanboy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, suck Nintendo's big ass balls.
Yeah.
No. This is actually proof. Mm-hmm. There's actual evidence that they've done great marketing. Mm-hmm. They've done awesome amounts of sales. That they've survived through the lows and highs of the video game industry. When Atari crashed, when it crashed again, when they had development mistakes, and they've been there the whole way, only making games. There's no fallback. Yep. There's no other choice. And so, just stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it. You know what industry-leading chips means? It means Nintendo's going to make another awesome system.
Yeah.
If you don't think the Wii U's an awesome system, you don't know anything about video games.
Yeah.
You just don't. If you think that I'm standing on my soapbox being a fanboy, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he has a PlayStation 4, guys. He was playing it before we started.
We literally were talking about Metal Gear Solid. I love that game. It's like
games are.
If you want to be ignorant and you want to be biased and bigoted, cool. But don't talk to me about how Nintendo sucks.
All right. Well, we'll end. And thank you guys for listening to our podcast about Nintendo and all the news. And we will call it there. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys later. Always a pleasure.